Hey, hi everyone. Very good evening. Hi, Anil. Good evening. Hi, Srisha. Hi, Pavani. Hi, Astush. All right, Jagat. Oh, okay, Jagadish. All right. Thanks for confirming that. Hi, Supriya. Fine then. So let us get started. Hope my voice is clear to everyone. Fine. So before we get into today's topic, what are all the topics we have covered in yesterday's session? Can anyone you can just post the topics on the chat box. Indexing, iLock Srisha, iLock locator apply functions, Anil apply functions, yes, Renuka apply function, yes. Grouping two data sets, right, Anil. We used which functions for that? Yes, very good, Srisha. Discrete versus continuous data we discussed, very important thing. And Pavani, append, merge, concat, iLock, lock, indexing, apply, pivot table. Wonderful. I think Pavani has covered everything. Concat or merge functions, yes. Dr. Leelavadi, pivot table, cross tab, right. And I think I've given two tasks. What are all the tasks that I've given yesterday? What are the tasks I've given yesterday? Anil, great Anil. So performing data cleaning, and the other one is explore merge functions. Yes. So have you all worked on it? How many of you tried it? Okay. Pavani says I have tried. Okay. What about others? Only Pavani responded. No one tried. Govind tried. Okay, great. Anil occupied with college works, unable to do. Okay. Fine. Hope other than Govind, Anil, Pavani, all right. I think still others are looking onto it. So make sure you're giving a try on it so that you will be strong on this data analysis. There are even other functions to explore as well. But if you're giving just the dot and tab button, you will be able to see a lot of other functions which you can explore by your own. I've just given whatever I used to deliver to my AA and data science batch learners. I've completely delivered the same. So no extra contents I used to deliver there. The same content I just delivered it here also. So make sure you're giving your complete time in maybe in future, but try to work on it. It would definitely help you out. Jyoti, I couldn't attend today's session. It's okay, Jyoti, fine. You can go with the recordings. But anyway, there is no connection between yesterday's session and today's session, so you can watch it out. Supriya, after coming home, I just get 30 minutes. Okay, got it, Supriya. All right. Fine. So try to give your best time there. So that will definitely help you all. All right. So now let us get into today's topic. So today, what we are going to discuss is nothing but data visualization. I think the same thing we discussed yesterday. That today we'll be discussing about data visualization, and post that we will be getting into statistics session. For 2 days, we are going to discuss it. All right. So today is Thursday. So today data visualization, and tomorrow, as per the agenda. So tomorrow we will get into statistics. So 2 days we are going to spend over there, and then we will be getting into machine learning. All right. All right, Supriya, fine. So let me share the screen. But before I share my screen, so let me do a quick recap. So from the day one, so we discussed about the brief history and the life cycle of a data scientist. And then we started with the Python programming part. We understood, we spent 2 days for Python programming. And then we discussed about the need of Python libraries, pandas for data visualization. So 2 days we spent over there. And now we are here to learn data visualization. All right. So now, before I get into this particular topic, so now let's understand why we need to get into data visualization. Why we need data visualization. Can everyone post your thoughts on your chat box? Why we need, when we are able to analyze the data with respect to pandas, why we need to visualize the data? What do you think? Just try to participate on the chat box, because if you are simply watching, you will never feel the connect with respect to me and also the content. Whatever you're thinking, post it on the chat box. Only seeing the things will never help you out. All right. Try it once, it will definitely help you out. Why we need data visualization? That is the question. Why we need data visualization? All right, so I got some answers. So here the source is to gain insights from it. So if it is to gain some insights, pandas is doing the same thing as Tush. And why specifically data visualization? Pandas is helping us to gain visualization. Anil says, I hope for data preparation phase of data scientist. Oh, okay, but still data preparation, we don't need to visualize it, Anil. Jagadish says visualization will give more insights on data and helps in better model building. Okay. To understand, Supriya says to understand analysis. Okay. Better understanding of data like maps or images so we can understand easily. Right. Shrisha, wonderful point. Better understanding of data, and we can understand the data very easily. Quickly, we can understand visually. If I'm able to visually represent the data, my eyes will quickly capture it. Now, why we are humans, we are why we are more interested to watch some movies, because it's a visualization. Instead of narrating the stories, when we are just watching with our human eyes, it is getting attracted. So my eyes is good at videos and images. So for easy understanding, great, good point, Srisha. And Astosh, to make predictions, conclusions. Okay, I got your thought process, Astosh. Jyoti, a lot of data can be compacted in a graphical report. Yes, right. Dr. Leelavati says a quick way of understanding. Yes, perfect point, Dr. Leela. Jyoti says again, makes it attractive and impactful. Wonderful. Okay, Doctor, again, Dr. Rila, graphical representation is more effective. Perfect. Renuka, easy understand the data. To figure out the objective of data set, great Chaitanya. Superior relationships and pattern finding. Wonderful. Great. Appreciate all your responses. Every point is right. So now the same thing, whenever we are, so just try to make this a practice. Whenever we are learning any new topic, if you look onto the teaching, whatever I provide, the very first question is not what is data science, what is AI. That is not my way of teaching, even if you're in teaching a profile. So let's try to start with the question. Let's say engineering. Why we have to study engineering? Why we have to study electronics and communication? So, and why, if let's say we are having more subjects within electronics and communication, why we need to have this particular subject? Why we need to? So when we are going even if you're not let's say we are studying as students, when we are studying, we have to raise this question. Let's say if the tutor, if it is not teaching us those details, so even we have to go with that mindset. Okay, why do I need to learn this? So it's not something, if you come to this outside IT world or any profession, so it will never work like this. What is this? That's not the basic question. So the question is why you have to learn this, why you completed B engineering. So the first question is nothing but why. So try to raise this particular question, why you have to learn this, and then what exactly, and then you can just attach it what, and then you can attach it where, and then you can attach it how. So why, what, where, how. So these four questions, if you're just going with it, so WWWH, you can say, you try, if you're just following this particular principle, so you would be very good in applying all the things what you're learning. So able to get my point, what I'm saying? Is it making sense? WWWH. Fine. So let me just share the screen. You can just take a look on it. So in a similar way, see this why data visualization. I just mentioned the same points whatever you said. For easy understanding of data, it saves more time because we can quickly analyze the data, because instead of representing in tables and everything, if I'm presenting in some bar charts or pie charts, it is going to be very easy for me. And for storytelling, in case if you're presenting your details in beautiful charts, and if you're presenting it over there, so for easy storytelling, I can just quickly, if it is a dynamic dashboard, I can click on it and I can just easily explain some stories behind that particular data. And for data quality check, so when we are getting into the, again we are going to get into the script part. So for data quality check, how exactly this Python is going to be useful, we will be understanding it today. Now, for all the, even the, you can list down a lot of many other reasons as well, but I think this reasons is more than sufficient for us to learn data visualization. And if you ask me why not a Tableau we have, Power BI we have, what about all those tools? Yes, those tools are even more powerful than Python. But to answer the question, with Python, is it possible for me to go for data visualization? Yes, it is possible. To some extent, we can go for data visualization. So now it is better for us to learn with Python how we can go for data visualization with respect to some scripts parts. So Python-based visualization libraries. We know that with Python, we are having more libraries. So each and every library serves for different purposes. Now we are having data visualization, different libraries like Matplotlib we have, Seaborn we have, Plotly we have. So these are the very three commonly used Python-based visualization libraries we have. Mostly we will be using Matplotlib and Seaborn. These are the two libraries what we are going to use. So I will be getting into deep with respect to Matplotlib and Seaborn today and giving an idea about what is this Plotly. And even within these three libraries, how we have to choose between these three libraries, we can just get into it. Matplotlib for more customization on my chart. So I get into Matplotlib. So for more customization, for more beautification on my chart, I will be getting into Seaborn. To create interactive dashboards, I will be getting into Plotly. All right, so just note it down. So we will be getting, you will be knowing all those things. Now, on what basis should I need to choose between the charts? That is nothing but here we are having count plot, bar charts, we have pie charts, we have different charts we are having in our hand. Now, how do we need to choose between these different charts? All right, because that is very much important. So to answer the question, the very first point to be noted is nothing but what type of analysis that you're going to do. All right. Whether you're going to perform univariate analysis or bivariate analysis or multivariate analysis, what type of analysis you're going to do, based on that, you need to pick up the charts. Let's say you're going to do univariate analysis. What is this univariate analysis? To understand the quality of one feature, we call as univariate analysis. Bivariate analysis, nothing but to understand the quality, or we can say the relationship between two features, we get into bivariate analysis. What is this multivariate analysis? To understand the relationship between more than two features, we call it as multivariate analysis. All right. So univariate analysis, we are having few charts like count plot, histogram, box chart, pie charts. And bivariate analysis, we have some charts like bar plot, scatter plot. And multivariate analysis, we are having some charts like pair plot, heat map. So line plot majorly used in time series analysis. And these are not the only charts which is available. We have hundreds of charts which is available in our hand. Now it is not possible for us to learn all these 100 charts, but with respect to this lecture, I can make sure that whenever you're exploring new charts, you will know which chart to pick, when to pick. If you're giving your complete attention to the session from the beginning, you will get to know which chart, even if you find new charts, if they are releasing it in the market, okay, what with this chart, what type of data I have to give it, you will be very clear with that. All right, so try to give your complete attention here. Let's try to take each and every minute more productive. So univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, multivariate analysis. Based on these three analysis, we have to choose between multiple charts. All right. So now I think this is good. So now let's all open up a new Jupyter notebook and let's all start the scripting. All right. Let me get into this. So now what I'm doing, I'm just going outside. So here I'm going to create a new folder. Let me rename this folder as data visualization. All right. And within this, so I think you should be having the drive link what I've just given. I'm just going to upload one file here. Again, Mata means for. All right, let me give one. Mata Mishwar, are you there? Yes. So Matam, please don't try to create any folders like this, files like this. All right. So that is not really encouraged here. Try not to upload any files that will uh, create some mess here. All right. So here I'm just giving one more file. I think everyone should be having this drive link there. And in case if you're watching online, maybe anywhere, this data set will be uploaded in your dashboard also by end of today's session. Okay, you don't need to worry about it. You can get in touch with the team. You can get this data. So where is this? So I'm just uploading one data set called empty cards. All right, empty cards.csv. So download this particular file and upload it in your Jupyter notebook. I think few of you are not having this link. Let me give this link to everyone. All right, so keep this drive link saved. All right, and Amar, have you given this drive link on the dashboard also? This drive link, have you pasted it there? All right. So just download this and come back here. And this grid file I've already uploaded in the dashboard yesterday. Okay. So let me upload this. All right, I'm fine. Yep, so great. This drive link also will be uploaded in the dashboard in today's session. Okay, in today's section, it will be uploaded. So emptycards.csv. In case if you're missing this drive link, you can get the drive link in the dashboard also. So after uploading this file, I'm creating a new Python 3 notebook. And let me name it like data visualization. So now what need to be done whenever you're working on it, step number 1 is import necessary libraries. So import pandas as PD. And the next step is import. That's what the life cycle, right? Import your data set. So pd dot read underscore CSV file. My data set name is emptycards.csv. Let me read it. Okay. Now I will be giving you 3 minutes time. Try to get into Google and read about empty cards dataset. And what you're able to understand from the data, you can just post it on the chat box. Try to get into Google, read about empty cards dataset. This dataset I've just taken it from Google itself. What you're able to understand from that, you can just give it to me on the chat box. If anyone from automotive industry, you should be able to understand this. Even if it is not also, you can do your research and you can give me the answer. You should be able to answer this question. All right, so Priya, the data includes fuel consumption data and 10 aspects of car design for the current car models. Is it current car models or then current car models? Car is okay. Jyoti says car design features and fuel consumption by different car models, right, Jyoti? The data includes fuel consumption data car 1973. Yes, Sanil. Between 1973 to 1974 years. So what all the car has been manufactured? It's basically a car design, we can say, right? So whenever I think others are still doing your research, you can just get into Google, just type empty cars data set. All right, if you're doing it, you will be getting some documentation like this. Just try to click on it. So the data set was extracted from the 1974 Motor Trend US magazine, and it is basically a US kind of data. That's how the measure it would be, the units it would be there, and comprises fuel consumption and 10 aspects of automobile design and performance for 32 different automobiles. And it's a model of 1973 and 1974. So now here we're having 11 numeric mileage per gallon. MPG is nothing but it's gallon. It's a US measure. a cylinder, number of cylinders, displacement, cubic inches, and how gross horsepower, real drag, a real axle ratio, weight of the car. It's measured in 1000 lbs. And Q second, 1/4 mile time. VS is nothing but whether it is a V-shaped engine or a straight shaped engine. AM is nothing but 0 stands for automatic and 1 stands for manual. Gear is nothing but number of forward gears. So now I got it. So here, see this 10 feature. What are the explanation? I got it here. So this is what we call as a KT. KT is nothing but knowledge transfer. So in this way, whenever we are having some short names for some features, this kind of complete report the client had to give to us. So because we are working for them, and we can't make a prediction. What is this VS? I can't make a prediction. So, but if in case if I know the domain, I know it is a V, speaking about V-shaped and straight shape, that it is always better to get a kind of this kind of complete description report from the client. So client will be giving us. So that's what all about this data understanding. So we can't go with any assumptions, but even if you're assuming, so again, it's an agile methodology. We have to go and check with the subject matter expert with respect to their client side, and we have to take an approval whether our assumptions is right or wrong. We have to document everything. All right. So now let's get into this particular problem statement. Now we are having mileage per gallon, cylinders, you have displacement, you have horsepower, drag, weight of the car is 2.62, which means that it is a measure of 1000 lbs. See this? Weight is nothing 1000 lbs. That's what the point here. So we are having a weight and Q second, and we whether it's 0 or 1. What is this 0 or 1 is all about? 0 speaks about V-shaped engine, and 1 speaks about straight. So but if I'm not having that documentation, now what would I assume? Whether 0 stands for V-shaped or 1 stands for V-shaped, how do I get to know about it? So to avoid all that confusion, so we need to get that kind of documentation, not like wordings, not like with words what we are communicating. A clear documentation is required. So that's why I even asked you to read about it. So that's what this KT is all about. So here automatic or manual. So here 0 stands for 0 stands for manual, and 1 sorry, automatic, and 1 stands for manual. All right. Now gears we are having number of carburetors, how many carburetors we are able to see it. So now we can just store this data set into something like empty cars data. All right, let me store this into empty cars data. All right. Now what do I want to do is nothing but let's perform data. After data collection, what is the next step? Great, Supriya, wonderful. After data collection, what is the next step? The life cycle. Great, Anil Srisha, wonderful. Data understanding, right? Even we understood some features, right? So data understanding. Even within data understanding, if you wanted to break it down, we can say initial investigation. Initial investigation we can perform, that is empty cars data dot shape. Okay, I'm having 32 observations across 11 features. Is there any null entries? Empty cars dot is NA. If you give is NA, it will give mileage, whether this particular column, if it is having any null value. Let's go with column wise. Okay, whether mileage per here is a null value or not, here is a null value, null value. So now if I'm just giving dot sum, what I think we discussed it earlier. So it will get into each and every column mileage. If it is if it is having true, it will be added up. It's a Boolean, right? So true, it will be added up and I'll be getting the number. So basically here, if I'm seeing it, so there is no null values with respect to this particular column. The data set is completely clean, nothing to clean it. So now, and also if you want to check with respect to the data types, empty cars or data types, everything is integers, sorry, numbers, numerical columns, so no problem. Initial investigation is done. Now again, you can perform something like a description report if you want to take something. Description report. So here what we can understand, okay, the minimum mileage is 10.40 and the maximum mileage is 33.90, which means that during the car manufacture between 1973 to 1974 models, the minimum mileage the car was given is nothing but 10 and the maximum mileage is 34.9 mileage per gallon. A number of cylinders 4 to 8 we have, and displacement 71 to 472 we have. Horsepower ranges from 52 to 333 335 in this way. So we are having some description report. So what kind of insight you wanted to take it, you can. We have, since we have already looked onto all these things, I'm not getting into it now. Let's get into data visualization. So now even initial investigation is done. Now, this data visualization even comes in, it is not coming inside your data preparation. You're not going to prepare your data. Even data visualization comes under data understanding. So with respect to your client given data, you're going to understand it even more better by using data visualization. So it is not data preparation, it is data understanding. It comes under data understanding step. Is my point clear? So Priya, are you watching with your mobile phone? Oh, is it laptop also? Is it something? Fine. Is it fine now? I think it should be good for everyone. Is it good for you now? Okay. If you're running both sides side by side, definitely it would be a kind of this. All right. Fine. So empty cards data, we described it. Now let's get into, see this. Let me just, here I'm just going for more understanding. Let's get into data visualization. Even we can see 3.2 data. All right. Now we are having, let's perform again. We are going to perform univariate analysis. All right. Now, what is that univariate analysis? For firstly, what I wanted is nothing, but I just wanted to take here we are having mileage per gallon. And with respect to this mileage per gallon, I'm having the data distribution. I just wanted to know how exactly this mileage is getting fluctuated. What is the distribution of this particular mileage per gallon? So for that, what I'm doing, so from Matplotlib, which is a main package, I'm importing something called as PyPlot, which is a sub package which is available in Matplotlib. And for this PyPlot, I'm giving a name PLT as PLT. So this is something we do. Import pandas as PD, import numpy as PD. This is something we do. But from Matplotlib, you can just consider it as a major mathematics subject. From this mathematics subject, I'm just taking linear algebra subject, where exactly this linear algebra chapter is going to handle only those things. So all your plotting tools is everything available in your in your PyPlot. For example, to understand why I'm just importing only PyPlot, because if you learn this Photoshop and everything, we are not going to use all the tools over there. Some frequently, one panel is going to contain only that, that eraser and your pen, your ruler, everything it is going to have it. So it is a kind of sub package we can say, or a subsection we can say, section or one section of your whole Photoshop. The similar way, from Matplotlib, which is a main package, I'm just trying to import only the section called as PyPlot, and for that section, I'm just going to give a nickname like PLT. You can call in this way, or you can call import Matplotlib dot PyPlot as PLT. Anything, you see this? This will never give you an error. Anything, it's fine. But since it will be more better if you are just writing in this way, because we know from where we are importing and everything. All right, so that's what the key point over here. Right. Now we just imported it. Shift enter. Now we just imported this particular pie plot. Now what need to be done? PLT dot tab button if I'm giving it. See this annotate, auto locator, autumn, axis, axis horizontal line, axis horizontal span, and I'm having bar chart, bar horizontal chart, box plot we have, circle, so close, so color map, lot of things you're able to have it within this particular uh, matplotlib within PyPlot, all your plotting libraries. Now from here, I'm just going to take something called as histogram or HIST. Histogram, it's a function basically. So I'm using open and close curly brace. Now within that, I'm just giving shift triple tap to understand what exactly this will do. When I'm reading it, so here I'm able to see it is going to plot a histogram. What is this histogram? See this. Let me just copy this X, Control C. Let me give it X is equal to. I'll be passing. Am I having anything like data? Yes, I'm having data. And also we have keyword arguments also. If you want, we can give it more. Data is equal to none. Now, what need to be given in X and data? Data is nothing but X is nothing but what? It is an array or a sequence of arrays, input values. This takes a single array, basically one particular column. So now within my data is nothing but your data frame. If you scroll down, you'll be able to see data. Okay, data here it is not available, but basically data is nothing but your data set, a data frame basically. It is available in your empty cards data. And from your empty cards data, which column you have to pick it? You have to pick it mileage per gallon. All right. Now you're able to see this kind of distribution. Now this is the chart which I'm able to see. Now what if here I'm not able to have this x-axis, y-axis and the title. Now this is the basic chart which I'm able to see. And also I'm not interested to look in this kind of outputs. So what I'm doing, customization, PLT dot, there is something called a show. If you give it, only this graph will be shown. All your other details that will be excluded. Now, what is this x-axis? We know it is speaking about mileage per gallon. So how do we interpret this particular chart? We can say, hey, see this first take, what is this x-axis? It is speaking about mileage per gallon. Mileage ranges between 10 to 33. That's what the distribution. So I wanted to do some customization on this chart, giving X label and Y label. So what do I do? After plotting this, after histogram, the next line, PLT dot customization. If you give tab button, X, I'm just getting something called X label. Within X label, I'm just giving out the name. Even you can read it. What X label? What need to be done? Font dictionary, label pad. There are a lot of things that you can do. X label it should be a string. I got to know about it. So what I'm doing? So X label is nothing but it's mileage per gallon. All right, and PLT dot Y label. So this Y label. So Y label I'm having. What is a Y label? Y label speaks about frequencies. Automatically it is speaking about the frequencies. How many cards is available with respect to the data. And what is the title if I wanted to give PLT dot title, customization, title. Now what is this mileage per gallon? Distribution. Distribution. Now see this. Now I got it. So mileage per gallon, frequency of the car. Sorry, mileage per gallon. That's what the X label, frequency in Y label, and chart. I'm able to get it. Now, what if I wanted to increase the size of this particular chart? Again, it comes under customization. The default size is this. Now I want to increase the size of the chart. What do we need to do? Before plotting histogram, first I have to fix the figure size, which means that the plotting size. So for that, what we do before that, PLT dot, there is something called as figure. Okay, figure. It's a function. Within this, we are having something called as figure size. Let me copy and paste it. And how do I need to give it with respect to figure size? If I scroll down, figure size need to be like a float and float. We can give it, and it is a width and height in inches. First one is width, and second one is height. So what we can do, the first one is width. Let's say I wanted to increase the width to something like 8, and height let it be maybe 7. Now see this. Now it got 7 is too much. 5. All right. Now see this. The size of the chart is customized. So Why matplotlib? Because I can do this kind of customization on my particular chart. Even what you can do, mileage per gallon. This is the title of this particular graph. Even you can just give comma. See this, you're having keyboard arguments, right? So what I've just explored is nothing, but there is something called as size. It's a keyword argument. For this size, I would like to go with something like 15. Now look onto it, mileage per gallon. Now it will be increased. Mileage per gallon size is increased. If you give 20, it will be again increased. Now it's again up to us. In this way, you can customize your charts by using matplotlib. So that is a point which I just mentioned in this particular screen. If you see, matplotlib, for doing more customization on my chart, I'm getting into matplotlib. So this chart, PLT is not predefined, Anil. PLT is something, a kind of nickname what we are giving. What is this? As PLT. If you are giving a nickname, you have to call it as PLT. In case if you don't give it, just always you have to go with pipeplot, everything you have to give. Since you have given a nickname, so we are addressing with PLT. That's it. Yep. So now see this. This is what I meant by customization. Now, what exactly this graph is speaking about? So now the client is not interested to know about the script, what you're writing. That's not something they are looking for. So what you do, you copy this particular image, you go to your PowerPoint presentation, present it there, and you are going to speak about it. Now, what is this? This is a univariate analysis. How many columns you picked from your entire data? Only one column you picked it. Now, what is my goal is nothing, but I want to understand the distribution of this mileage per gallon. Now, I can speak like this. That is, hey, I'm able to see the cars, most of the cars are giving a mileage between 10 to 25. And there are two cars which is giving me mileage between beyond 30. In this way, I can come up with any kind of stories. So for quick analysis of this particular data and for better representation, I'm getting into, for all the reasons, whatever we just listed before some time, now it is getting matched. So this is what univariate analysis is all about. So this 10 to 15, this is called as bins. Okay, if you just scroll down inside, bins and everything. Bins is nothing but the space, the interval we call it as. But again, I'm not getting into that technicalities, but that you can later explore. My goal is nothing but how to choose between the charts. That's what I'm going to majorly touch upon. That's where most of the confusion is going to come. Rest all stuff, if you're spending some time, you will be knowing that, oh, what all this parameter speaking about, what is that parameter? So you will be knowing that particular parts later. But how we have to choose between the charts, even if it is a tableau, you can just go for some random clicks, right? So if you're clicking on it, it should be fine. But even if you're giving some wrong data to it, it is not going to work. It is not going to get displayed. So your histogram, it's a univariate analysis. And what type of data it is picking up? Mileage per gallon. Mileage per gallon. Is it a discrete data or a continuous data? Mileage per gallon. Is it a discrete data or a continuous data? Is it why discrete, Supriya? I think Aditya, Mohammed, Hush, Srisha, Jyoti. If you're saying continuous, why continuous? I think Supriya is the only one saying discrete. Why discrete? Yes, Leela. So it can range from 0 to maximum, any number, right? So the point is nothing but mileage per gallon. It is measurable, right? It is having some units, mileage per gallon. And it is also segregatable. I can say the bike is giving me, or the car is giving 10.2. So then how it comes under discrete? It is a continuous. Got my point, Supriya, what I'm saying? So if you're going with histogram, which is a univariate analysis, it takes one continuous data. We have to give one continuous data to this particular histogram. In case, let's say, what if you give any discrete data? Let's say, what are the discrete data available here? Can you pick any one discrete data? Okay, gear. Let me pick this particular gear. All right. So now let me come back. Let me give this gear. All right. So this 3 gear we have, 4 gear we have, 5 gear we have. Are we getting this continuity? It is, yes, it is a distribution, but are we getting this continuity between this 3 numbers? Is there a range? No. So this type of discrete data, you should not supply to this histogram. That's completely wrong. So you have not, which means that you have not studied about charts. So your why we have to look onto histogram to understand the distribution of one continuous data type. We are getting into discrete, sorry, histogram. So you have to go with one continuous data type. So mileage per gallon makes sense. Able to get my point? What I'm saying? All right. Now, what if I wanted to know about discrete data? So what do I do? So so here I'll be giving one title. So now let me import some chart, like import Seaborn, which is another library. And for that, I'm going to give a nickname like SNS, Seaborn, because all the time I don't call, even if you're giving Seaborn, it is not a problem. But every time you have to go with Seaborn dot tab button, you need to write Seaborn, everything. So instead of that, just give a nickname SNS, and then I'll just call it SNS dot tab button. I will be getting all these things. Okay, just for some easy writing of scripts. That's it. So now SNS dot. Okay, here also you will be seeing box plot, lot of plots you'll be able to see. Now from here, I'm just going to use something called as count plot. Okay, count plot. So within this particular count plot, here you're having X, Y, you're having it. Control C, let me do it. Are we having this data? Are we having data? Yes, we are having data. Control C. All right. Now this data takes what? My data set name, empty cards. Now this is your data set, right? Empty cards. Let me see this head. So here you're having, let's pick up one discrete data. Let's say gear, right? Gear, that's what you picked up. Let me give X is nothing but gear. And I'm not giving Y here for one reason. See this now. Now you're able to see 3 gear cars. What does that count? There are totally 15 3 gear cars in this data and 12 4 gear cars and 4 5 gear cars I'm able to have. In case if you wanted to know with respect to pandas, what you will do is nothing but empty cars data. You will pick up this gear column and dot value underscore counts we have there is one of the function. So see this 3-cylinder car is 15, 4-cylinder car is 12, and 5-cylinder car is 55. Instead of representing with the respect to this number, this is more easier for me, right? For easy understand, for quick understanding. Now I'm not saying which color I want to give for this 3, 4, and 5. Automatically, it is picking up blue color, orange color, and green color. Most of the charts with respect to Seaborn, that will be coming up with respect to this kind of presentation wise. So for that reason, I've just made that particular term Seaborn for more beautification on my charts. We are getting into Seaborn. Even Matplotlib also, some charts will come up with automatic colors, but most of the charts come up with blue color. But with respect to Seaborn, most of the charts will be automatically colored, unlike Matplotlib. Able to understand what I'm saying? If you miss even a single minute, you won't be able to get my point. What I said, is it understandable? Okay, Jyoti says yes. Harsh yes. Great, Vinod. So understood. Wonderful, Mohammed. So the point, let me repeat it in case if you missed it. So most of your Seaborn charts will be something like this kind of colors and more beautification it is going to do. Matplotlib also, it is going to give some automatic colors, the way how we are seeing with respect to count plot, but most of the charts with Matplotlib will be blue color. Some charts it will be automatically colored, but the major goal of Matplotlib is for more customization, major of the time, this Seaborn is going to do some kind of beautification. Now see this. Now I want, since automatically it is going to take this X label and Y label. Now I don't want it to see this axis plot and everything. Customization. What do I do? plt.show. Now I'm relying on matplotlib. Now it has gone. Now I wanted to give a title, customization. Again, I have to rely on matplotlib. plt.title. So what title I can give it? Gear distribution. Gear distribution. Now I'm able to see this gear distribution. Now what we can say is nothing but let's say I wanted to do more customization. I want to increase the height of this. So what to again increase the height? plt.figure. Figure. So here I'll just make a figure size is equal to. So width versus height. Width let it be 6, maybe 5. Height let it be 7. Now oh 7 is too much. 4. Yeah. So width let it be 6. Okay, so this kind of customization. So for customization, we rely on matplotlib, and for more beautification, we rely on this particular Seaborn. That's what the point. So this graph count plot, in case if you're giving y, all right. In case if you give y here, it will give us a problem. But we'll compare it with respect to bar plot in a while. So the second chart, what we discuss is nothing but this is 1.2. We can say this is count plot, which takes, it's a univariate analysis, which will take one discrete data. So to understand one discrete data's distribution, I will be relying on count plot. So in this way, we have to read about each and every chart. Now I want, now my goal is nothing but what? Hey, I want to understand. Let me look at the data. Now here, hey, I want to, this is a continuous data. Now I want to understand the distribution of this continuous data, which is nothing but mileage per gallon. Can I use count plot for this? What do you say? Can I use count plot for mileage per gallon? Can I use count plot for mileage per gallon? Or displacement, can I use it? Count plot for displacement, can I use it? Or horsepower, can I use it for horsepower? Count plot for horsepower. Is it yes, Rishikesh? Horsepower, is it a discrete or continuous? Right, Jagdish, you're right. We can use, but that's where it will never make sense if you're using it. A lot of X variables will be there for each values in the table. That's not the right chart. Basically, if it is displaying that like that, it is not the right charts. You can use it, but that's not the right chart that you're trying to pick it over there. Is it horsepower? Is it discrete, Nabila? Horsepower, it is continuous. Horsepower, power. See this. Gross horsepower, right? Power measured in units. That's what the point. So I can't give this particular horsepower. Great. Now, can I give whether it is a V-shaped engine or straight-shaped engine to this count plot? Can I give this VS? All right. I think you all got the point. Yes, we can give it. Wonderful. So can I give gear for histogram? Gear column for histogram. Wonderful. Now everyone says no. Great, everyone. I think that's it. So that is how you, if you understood the discrete versus continuous, then data visualization, picking up the charts, it is what is it? Yes, but actually no. What do you mean by yes, but actually no? Not getting your answer clearly. Fine. Now I think if you're able to differentiate between these two things, now you can easily get the point. All right. So now to understand the distribution of one continuous data, we can get into histogram. There are a lot of other charts which is available, like district plot, KD plot, like that. To understand the distribution of one discrete data type, we can get into count plot. All right. Now let's get into the second one, bivariate analysis. All right. Bivariate analysis. So bivariate analysis, that is nothing but, let me pick SNS dot. There is something called as bar plot. Okay, bar plot. Now what do I do? And before I explain this, let me get into it first. So here bar plot, here I'm having X and Y, and hue also I'm having it. So let me not get into hue now. Let's try to explore this chart like a basic one. Later you can do your own exploration and learn it. Okay, data is nothing but, let me just have a look at my data. Hit. All right. Now this is my empty cars data. Now in x-axis, I'll be giving the cylinder. In y-axis, I'll be giving miles per gallon. Now I got this particular chart. Let me give, to avoid this, what should I need to do? To show only the graph, plt.show. All right. Now I just wanted to give a title here. The title for customization, I need to rely on matplotlib title. Mileage per gallon, that is, sorry, number of cylinders versus mileage per gallon. All right. Now, what is this explanation is nothing but, so on an average, 4-cylinder, see this is what the explanation of your group by function. So you can just get the same report with respect to group by. So what we can do with respect to group empty cars data dot, you can use this group by function, and the by is equal to, you're going to group by cylinders, and then you're going to pick up this mileage per gallon dot mean. See this is what the answer. So on an average, you can also represent this here within this numbers and everything, you can do that, but later you can explore it. The point is nothing but, on an average, 4-cylinder car is giving me 26.27 mileage. 6-cylinder car is giving me 20 mileage. 8-cylinder car is giving me 15 mileage per gallon. So in this way, your bar plot is going to take two variables, one variable in x-axis and another variable in y-axis. So when you wanted to compare more than one variable, let's say you wanted to understand the relationship between two variables, or to understand the quality between two variables, we are getting into bar plot. And for bar plot, one variable, it should be discrete, and the other variable, it should be continuous. You can even interchange this. See this? You can x-axis nothing. It will be a kind of horizontal bar chart. That's it. You can just go with this is nothing but cylinder. It will be completely exchanged. Oops. So x is okay. X-axis, it is not picking this one. So x-axis always should be discrete, and y-axis always it should be continuous. Minus per gallon. All right. So always your bar plot, it is going to pick up one discrete and one continuous. So since you are picking two columns here, we call it as bivariate analysis. And your bar plot, this is 2.1. Bar plot will pick up one discrete and one continuous data type. So your bar plot will take one discrete and one continuous, discrete in x-axis and continuous in y-axis. So the same point. To understand the quality between two variables, I'm getting into bivariate analysis. Bar plot is one of the bivariate analysis plot. Now in case, let's try to compare this bar plot with count plot, because bar plot and count plot looks like the same thing. Now see, this is my bar plot. I'm saying it is a bivariate analysis. Now let me go to this count plot. Here I'm just giving, I just gave us none. Now let me give it y-axis. Let me give it like mileage per gallon. It is going to throw me an error stating that cannot pass values for both x and y. So here the point is nothing but, you can have only x or y. Cannot pass values for both x and y. The point here, what they're trying to say, in case if you're keeping y is equal to none, it becomes like a vertical count plot. Now what you can do, keep this X as none and keep Y as gear. Then it becomes what? Horizontal count plot. It's up to us to go and design it. So now I'm going with vertical count plot is more than sufficient for me. So what do I do? Y, let it be none itself. And X, I'm going to give it one discrete data that is gear. That's it. So now to understand again, to understand the distribution of one discrete data, we are getting into count plot. Now I want to compare more than two columns, which is a bicovariate analysis, one discrete versus continuous. So I'm just getting into bar plot. Is that point clear? Great, Jagdish. Yes, Harsh, you're right here. Pavani. All right. Fine then. So now let me use some other plot. So the major point, what I was just saying is, see, this is a very important point to be noted. Now, why we are juggling between Matplotlib and C1? Why we need two libraries? Because your Matplotlib, for look onto this point, what I'm saying, your Matplotlib is going to have some charts which is not available in Seaborn. Point number two. Your Seaborn is going to have some charts which is not available in your Matplotlib. Third point, your Matplotlib and Seaborn, which are having some charts in common, which will perform the same thing. Able to get my point, what I'm saying? See this. PLT dot, I wanted to look for something like pie chart, okay? PLT dot, I'm just giving a tab, PI, see this pie chart. When I'm reading it, it is clearly saying me, plot a pie chart, right? Matplotlib one. Now I wanted to find a pie chart within C1, SNS dot, tab button, P, see this within respect to P. Am I having anything like pie chart here? Any pie chart? No. So point number one, there are some charts which is only available in Matplotlib, not available in Seaborn. Second point, let me try for SNS dot. I wanted to search for a count plot. Okay, CONT count plot. See this CO count plot. I'm having it here. Right. What exactly this will do? If you read it, shows the counts of observation in each categorical bins using a bar. Now I wanted to look for count plot. PLT dot CONT. Am I having count plot here? Matplotlib. I don't have it there. So the second point is nothing but there are some charts which is only available in Seaborn, which is not available in Matplotlib. And the third point is nothing but PLT dot, let me say I wanted to look for some scatter plot. Okay, scatter plot. Shift up with that. Reading it. A scatter plot of Y versus X with varying marker size. Okay. Now Seaborn. SNS dot scatter. Scatter plot. Again, if you read it, draws a scatter plot with the possibility of every several semantic groups. So the third point is nothing but there are some charts which is available in Matplotlib and Seaborn, which is going to perform the same tasks. And even if you see Matplotlib, there is something called as box plot, which is available in Matplotlib and also in Seaborn, box plot which is available in Seaborn. Able to understand these 3 points, what I'm saying? Clear. Fine. So this point is nothing but, so from here, you just, in order to know more about this, so just give a dot, just give a, what is this echo, try to a correlation, try to read it and just come back here, try to learn step by step data visualization with Python. It will take a lot of time. One session is not at all sufficient, but since it is a course, what we can give is nothing but since we are even having the limitation, I can just suggest you how to learn from here. All right, what is the starting point, what is the base, how we have to learn that point, we can just cover it. But each and everything, it's up to the learner's hand how you are going to give time here in understanding each and every parameter. That's what it's a time consuming one. With respect to your self exploration, you can get into this particular stuff and learn. All right, now this is the second point, bar plot I've given. So now what I wanted is nothing but, let's say I'm going to use C1 is more pretty good. So what I'm doing, I'm using some other plot like scatter plot. Within this X and Y, am I having anything like data? Yes, I'm having data. So what I do, I paste it, X is equal to none, Y is equal to none, and data is equal to, let me take data is equal to nothing but empty cards data. And now empty cards data dot hit. So now what I'm doing, I'm just picking up X axis. I'm just picking up horsepower and Y axis. So just try to answer me this question. Whenever you're going to planning to buy a car, what car or bike, what is the first question that you would raise out of this feature, what you're having it? Mostly the very important thing. Okay, we know for CC. Price, okay. But are we having price here? Right, based on mileage. So this is my scatter plot. I'm going to take the output in y-axis, mileage per gallon y-axis. Now see this, mileage per gallon in y-axis and horsepower in x-axis. Now horsepower and mileage per gallon automatically it has been taken care. So plt.show, let me give it. All right, now I'm able to get this chart. So I want this title here. So what do? After plotting, customization, title. This is horsepower versus mileage per gallon of a car. Right. Now, scatter plot. What does this scatter plot says? Scatter plot will tell you what is the relation between two continuous variable. Again, two features I just picked up. It's a bivariate analysis chart. Now I want to compare when horsepower increases, mileage increases or decreases. That's what I wanted to compare. So we know that when horsepower increases, obviously the mileage will decrease. So to understand the relationship between two continuous feature, horsepower, is it a continuous or discrete? Horsepower, is it continuous or discrete? Continuous. Mileage per gallon, we know it is continuous. Wonderful. So to understand scatter plot, you have to give two continuous feature here. In case, let me try to give x is equal to gear, all right, which is a discrete data. See this, 3 and 4, it becomes like a count plot, which is not right. Which means that if you're giving this display to the client, it makes sure, or let's say not the client, any technical person or to me. So I will just daily say, hey, have you studied about scatter plot? What is this? Why you chosen the scatter plot? Why you're not this one? Which is very evident you have not studied about this visualization subject very clear. So whenever we are choosing this particular charts, there behind that there is a study here. The study is nothing but discrete and continuous. That's it. What type of data we have to supply? So for scatter plot, both your x and y, it should be continuous. So let me give horsepower here, horsepower versus mileage. So your scatter plot, let me give this here. That is 2.2. Scatter plot is nothing but x and y, both should be continuous. Fine. Is this point clear, everyone? Let's confirm it. Wonderful. So now let's go for this, the last one, that is multivariate analysis, third one. Wait, this is third one, multivariate analysis. All right. So now what I wanted is nothing but, see this, you're having something called as pair plot. All right, SNS dot pair plot. Let me use it. pair plot within this, am I having like anything like X, Y and everything? X, Y is parameter, sorry, argument. I don't have it. So what you can do, it plots a pairwise relationship in the data set. So you're having something called as data. Data is nothing but it need to be a pandas data frame. So tidy long form data where each column is a variable and each row is an observation. So data, just try to pass only this data. So this data is equal to, I'm going to supply empty cards data set. And let's just wait for a while. It is going to take all your 31 observations and 11 columns, and it is going to plot one thing. Just take a look at it. So this is one of the multivariate charts here. All right. Now you got a very bigger chart. See this? Let me zoom in. Okay. Now see this. This is a very big chart which I'm able to see. Now what is it? What everything? It's a dot dot dot. So now let's try to focus on only this output feature. Okay, mileage per gallon. So now let me zoom in. If you're just double clicking inside this particular chart, you should be able to see. Now let me talk about this particular row. This particular row here, all the charts will never make sense. Only few charts which we are going to see for our analysis purpose. Now this particular row, if you take, all your y-axis speaks about mileage per gallon. Y-axis mileage per gallon, y-axis mileage per gallon, y-axis mileage per gallon, mileage per gallon. Let me scroll right. Y-axis speak about mileage per gallon. Let me touch this one. Okay. Let me touch this particular graph. If y-axis speaks about mileage per gallon, then what about x-axis? All right. Let me scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. X-axis displacement. So when displacement increases, mileage drops down. I'm able to understand it at one shot. Now this graph, the x-axis is horsepower, x-axis horsepower. So all this particular third column, sorry, this particular column speaks about horsepower. Now let me scroll down. Let me compare with mileage per gallon. The first observation, see this. So we know that when horsepower increases, mileage drops down. So in this way, you can do a comparison. Actually, it is a scatter plot basically, but instead of picking each and every continuous variable and plotting it at once, you can use this particular pair plot. And for quick analysis, for your analysis, you can just try to use it. See this, all your, see this, why it is it a right chart here? What do you say? This one, scatter plot. Why this chart is like this? Why this chart we are able to see like this? It is a discrete. So here, yes, discrete input. If you look onto the x-axis, let us try to look on the x-axis. Okay, whether it is a V-shaped engine or straight-shaped engine. So this is not something great, right? So this is not the right come. Both are not both are discrete, Vera. So one is discrete, x is discrete, because we know y-axis is mileage per gallon, right? So y-axis mileage per gallon, we know that already. So here, not all charts will make sense, but few charts. But with one glance, you can see this is a continuous versus continuous, continuous versus continuous. Instead of plotting scatter plot multiple times, okay, horsepower versus mileage per gallon, and drat versus mileage per gallon, and displacement versus mileage per gallon. Instead of plotting it continuously, with respect to pair plot, which is a multivariate analysis, which is used to compare multiple features at once, I can get into this particular pair plot and I can do that. That's what about this particular multivariate analysis. Got my point, everyone? Why some are bar and some are square? Because bar is not something. This is not something meaningful. Bar is nothing but mileage. Okay, y-axis mileage. Look onto the x-axis mileage. So what is the purpose of comparing Jagadish versus Jagadish? You know how exactly you know about yourself. What is the purpose of comparing yourself with yourself? It doesn't make sense. So that's what I said. There are, see this on the second column. This is a bar graph. What is this bar graph? Cylinders is compared against cylinders. What is the takeaway that we can make it? So there are some graphs which will never make sense, as I said. Few charts we will be looking into it, and we will just move on. All right. Now my next question is nothing but can you display this chart to the client? Can you display this chart to the client side? What's your idea? Okay, Srisha, Hush says no. What about others? Pavani says no. Few can be. Okay. So why no? All right. Everyone are saying no. Why no? Why are we not supposed to display this? Select. Okay, Srisha says select only meaningful data. Right. And Supriya, with first look, it doesn't make sense. But if you provide proper data, it is useful. Great, Supriya. Not understandable. Some data is not useful. Great. So everyone said the right point. Now, this is useful for us as a data analyst or a data scientist. This is useful for us because at one glance, I'm able to understand the relationship between multiple features at once. But after finding out this relationship, now what we can do, we have to rely on the scatter plot to pick up only this, to pick up only this, to pick up only this, so that we can display to the client. This chart I can display because this is something pretty good. I can copy this. I can open my, I copied this. Let me open my PowerPoint presentation. So what I can do is nothing but, right, Harsh. So let me just paste it here. All right. I can just paste it here and maybe some other charts to the right hand side. Maybe some other charts here. Sorry. Maybe I can just paste it and I can just display it. And I can just see this horsepower versus mileage per gallon. When one increases, another one decreases. But when we are able to look into it, so in this way we can select some charts and we can display it, right? This makes sense, but not your clumsy view. This is not something meaningful. So we will be working with respect to PowerPoint, sorry, Jupyter Notebook. We'll copy it and we will paste it in Jupyter Notebook, sorry, PowerPoint presentation, and we try to speak with respect to this data. Is it making sense, everyone? Able to get my point? All right, fine. So this is how we choose between multiple charts. All right. So for whether we are going to perform univariate analysis or bivariate analysis or multivariate analysis, so we have to first raise this question: what type of analysis that we are going to perform? Whether I have to understand the distribution of one continuous feature. This is the key. By looking into the data, discrete and continuous, we have to firstly we have to differentiate it, and then we are having multiple charts in our hand. Now, how you have to choose between this? Okay, whether can I give continuous data or a discrete data? Take a read on it. You will be understanding it. Okay, now when you're able to see other charts like this, so PLT dot, let's say PLT dot something like mm, box plot. Okay, box plot. Now, how do we do this? Only you're having X. So box plot, you need to give only make a box plot or a whisker plot. X is nothing but the input data. So with respect to this box plot, you can go and understand how exactly the distribution of the data set is all about, how it is, how, whether is there any outlier in my data or not. Outlier and everything we will learn it later, but the point is nothing but how exactly to use this box plot to supply discrete data or a continuous data. From here we have to take a read on this particular part. Able to understand this? All right. Now see this. Now just take a read on it. Okay, let me just try to show you some other one more plotly. But before plotly, do you need a break or shall I continue? What do you say? Shall I continue or you need a 3, 4, 5 minutes break? 3 minutes break. All right. Okay, I think more responses. Okay, 3 minutes break. Fine. All right. Jyoti says continue. Jyoti is more interested, I think. So. Fine. Let's take a break of 3 minutes. Now the time is 8:22. Let's be back at 8:25. We can continue it. Okay. I'll be on mute until then. All right. Is everyone back from break? We are back. Okay. Wonderful. Great. The last, again, I'm going to wind up the session early today. So only 10 more minutes. Okay. Amar, if you're there, you can just start giving the attendance link so that they can also start giving their attendances. So see this. Now we know how we have to choose between multiple charts. Firstly, we have to decide whether we are going to perform univariate analysis or bivariate analysis or multivariate analysis. We are having multiple charts with respect to univariate, bivariate, and multivariate. Even we are having heat map. This box plot can be used for univariate and bivariate analysis. And we are having line plot. We are having a linear model plot. In this way, we are having different charts. So try to explore it. So that's what the thing. And now how we have to choose between this, I think you are good with the choosing between matplotlib library and seaborn library. Now, The last library is nothing but, as I mentioned, Plotly for creating interactive dashboard. So now let me just give you a small flow. See this, Plotly. All right, Plotly. Let me just type Plotly. Now you are able to see this particular link, plotly.com, the front end for ML and data science model. Let me create it. Okay, this Plotly is a very powerful tool. Let me click on this docs and graphing library. Let me click on this docs again. Okay, earlier they just made this Plotly compatible with this one, JavaScript. That's how they came up with, and only this Plotly for analytical app framework. So they just made it only for these two sources. But later they just open sourced with Python framework also, because more use of Python. And then they just started with this particular R programming language they started, and then they are just integrating with Julia and all of the other IDEs as well. Sorry, all the other programming languages. Now they are, the one good thing is they are making it as an open source. Now let me click on this Plotly Python open source graphing library. Let me click on it. Now here you're able to see fundamental, more fundamental charts, some basic charts, statistics charts. You're able to see scientific charts. You're having it, financial charts. You're having it, maps. You're having it, artificial intelligence, machine learning. Some charts, how to do it. AL with the dashboards. You're having it, bioinformatics charts. You're having it, 3D charts. You're having it, subplots. You're having it, Jupyter bridges interaction. See, this lot of charts. You're having it here. Now let's say I just wanted to know about. Let me try to use some basic charts. Let's say here I'm having some basic charts here. Let's say I wanted to make use of this maybe bar chart. Let me click on this bar chart. Okay, bar chart with Plotly. Now see why I'm saying interactive. Let me just take my mouse pointer and hover on top of it. I'm just getting this kind of tooltip, year and population, everything. Now this one, stacked bar chart. See this tooltip and everything, I'm getting it. Now let's say this is a stacked bar chart. And this is another one, side chart. See, this is a colored one. So in this way, you can also copy this. The point is nothing but after learning it. Let's say I wanted to plot maybe this kind of chart. Okay, let me copy. I just wanted to plot this kind of chart. Let me paste it. Copy. The script will be there in your Plotly. See the script for this, it will be there. You can copy it and you're getting this. And the point is nothing but just you have to make sure you want to alter, how you need to alter this particular script to make sure that it will be updated for our data. How they're using it, see this color they're making based on smoker, and bar mode is nothing but group, and they are basically picking to the two features, and based on color they are doing it. Section is nothing but male or female, smoker is nothing but another one. Let's say empty cards data. This is my empty cards data which I'm having in my head. So for this particular data, how do I do it? X-axis nothing but it's a discrete data, sex, my male or female. What is the discrete data that I have here? Maybe velocity, VS, let me give it. And this data frame is nothing but data frame. Let me just take it out. And here the data is nothing but empty cards data. Let me give it empty cards data. And Y is nothing but I want to look total bill, which is nothing but a continuous mileage per gallon. Let me give it color. They are making it with respect to smoker. Maybe it will be yes or no. And another what is that? And another discrete data. Let me make it like automatic or manual. Automatic or manual. Barcode is group, height is this one. Let me plot it. See this. Okay, that's it. Now sum of it is making a sum here. Y-axis making a sum here. Again, we have to change it out. Okay, see this. Y-axis, maybe let me increase the height of this to 800. Now it is getting increased. Okay, so let me just make it to 500. Now I got it. It is making a sum. Y-axis automatically making a sum. Again, we have to read onto it. Okay, histogram is something not pretty good. It is not doing the right charts. Then I have to look for some other charts. No module name Plotly error is coming. So if you're getting no module name Plotly error is coming, what you have to do? Let me try to ask this question to everyone. You're getting a name like no module names Plotly error is coming. What do you have to do? Anyone? What does this error mean? Install it. Great, Astosh. How do I install it? Let's say I don't know. How do I basic thing how we have pip install? So let's try with pip install Plotly. All right. Let's try to use this pip install Plotly. In case if the spelling is right, that's fine. In case if you don't know what is the spelling, how to install and everything, requirement already satisfied, which means that I've already installed. In case if you don't know what is this particular name, copy your error. Copy your error. paste it here. You'll be getting some Stack Overflow or anything. All right, let me click on it. So here you'll be getting some clues. Pip install Plotly. Copy this, try to paste it over there, you will be getting it. All right, is fine. So in this way, sum of mileage per gallon, this is not something good. The y-axis need to be corrected. But the point here I'm trying to say is nothing but interactive dashboard. See this, how exactly it is great. Now you can copy this. This you can't copy basically. You can save it and you can paste it. But the point is nothing but this interactiveness, it will be there within your Jupyter notebook. In case if you're saving this outside your Jupyter notebook, it won't be this kind of interactive. That is one limitation which we can say. Because of that, we have to still work on. Because what I'm trying to let me explain. In case if you're copying this and pasting in your PowerPoint presentation, it won't be interactive because it will be a kind of image. Only in your Jupyter notebook, it will be interactive. So that's why for creating more interactive dashboards, we are relying on a Power BI, Tableau, and everything, because there it will be more interactive. Here within Jupyter notebook, it will be interactive. Got my point? All right. That's the end of data visualization session. Any questions if you have, you can ask me. So that's what even I just displayed. Now let's go back and read it. How do we choose between three Python-based libraries? Matplotlib for more customization, like plt.figure we are giving it, plt.title, plt.xlabel, ylabel we are giving, cbond for more beautification purpose, like automatically color we are getting it, Plotly to create interactive dashboards we are getting into Plotly. And we're having three type of analysis. What type of analysis that we have to perform? First, we have to raise that question and then we have to get into the charts. Okay, I have to perform by period. For by period, what are all the charts available? Let me list it down. So within this particular charts, which one do you have to pick it? What type of data I'm going to supply? Discrete versus discrete, or discrete versus continuous, or continuous versus continuous. If it is continuous versus continuous, we are having scatter plot. And what are the other charts available? So in this way, first question is why, second question is what, third question is where, fourth question is how. So try to apply this. Again, it would definitely work for you. Right. So tomorrow's session, it will be a kind of statistics session tomorrow and next Monday. Let me show you the plan. This is the plan what we had. So we are on 7th April. I think we are lagging one day behind. Yes, we are on 7th April. Because of this Python programming part, I thought of delivering it here, but we are one day behind this particular syllabus. But I'll make sure, again, as I said, 20 days is one day dedicated for us. We'll try to cover as per this. In case even if you're leaving it, you can get this material from this. You can join ExcelR, or most of the sessions that will be covered. Whatever I've devised it, based on again your learning pace and everything, it will be covered. So tomorrow, I'm just planning to take this particular statistics session and a random variable, and then one day I'll be next week, Tuesday, I think so. Today tomorrow Friday we will be discussing about this topic, and Monday we'll be discussing about statistics day 2, and Tuesday one day for machine learning. Usually, if it is a data science program, we'll be spending 25 days there. But since this program is focusing more on AI, I just devised in such a way that 10 days for basics and 10 days for getting into deep learning. So then we will be getting into the deep learning parts, why deep learning, what is this backpropagation works, optimizes. So a lot of scripts is a completely deep learning content, which we will be learning. Okay, here you will be getting more real-time applications, what's and everything. Whatever we are learning now, it's just the foundations, which we can say. A small portion of Python, small portion of data structure, small portion of statistics. So from here, it is very important. All right, cool, very crucial part. All right, Asosh. Great, everyone. Hope you all had a great session. Let's come back to. Can you share a website which Pavani, I'm not suggesting any website. Why? Because it's again up to you to go and explore the things. I used multiple websites. Even I don't remember. To be honest, I don't remember any websites other than programmers to learn Python programming part. But I used to refer some blogs like towards data science, Medium article, analytics vidya, and yes. So these are all the blog names which is coming in my mind. There are other blogs as well. Maybe you can explore it. Any reference book? Usually, basically, I have not completed reading any book, and I because whenever we are working with any problem statements, we don't try to go with this book-oriented thing, because after learning this proper this particular course and everything, I basically learned it by my own by referring some blogs and reading some articles. A lot of this is how I learned it basically. So after that, I started work getting. I just got into Kaggle, which is just a website, and I picked up multiple projects. All right, I picked up multiple projects. I didn't use Kaggle. Anyone you know about this Kaggle platform? What is this Kaggle and everything? Maybe we can speak about it next Tuesday when we are discussing about machine learning. Just once remind me, I'll be speaking about it. There is one website called as Kaggle. So where exactly they will be, Google release this particular Kaggle, where exactly we'll be having multiple business cases. So I used to work on multiple business cases where exactly business problem will be given, data set will be given, for solutions also it will be given by multiple kernels. So I picked up the solution sheets from multiple kernels. I just copied it, pasted it, and I just went through line by line where exactly I gained more knowledge with respect to scripting and also how to look at the problem. But it took almost a lot of time, more than 1.5 years. That's when the time I learned it. But in case if you're enrolling with ExcelR program, with whatever I learned from 1.5 years, I can deliver within 3 months. All right, so that's the need why we have to enroll to a program. We need a proper mentor who is having a good amount of experience, who will simplify the contents and deliver the things which will cut short our time duration so that we can get into the job placements and everything. So that's a need of a mentor on the program. But again, you can also do a self-learning stuff and you can do it. But again, it depends on your learning pace, how well you're understanding, your mind is taking it, how many times you have to repeat the same thing again and again and again. That's how it will work. All right. So for that reason, I don't recommend any reference books or reference blog. It's up to us to go in case even I do suggest some in my sessions, I used to suggest some, blogs to read, to go through it, particular to that, so very specific to that particular topic. In case if I'm speaking about YOLO algorithm, which is an object detection, I used to refer one analytics with the blog page because that's very clear. So it's based on some topics. I used to refer some blogs during the sessions, not any specific books. Even in case if you're reading any books, let's take about your engineering book. Let's say most of you here, you're engineers. Have you completely reading your engineering books? Anyone? Completely within your given time? Has anyone completed reading your engineering books? That's not it works, right? No. We don't use to completely cover it. We try, even if you're reading, we just go with a very fast manner. Most of the terms, whatever it's been mentioned there, unless and until faculty helps us to understand that particular term, we will be able to understand. Then what is the use of purchasing the books and everything? All right. So with respect to one specific topics, so people like me and people like you, they used to write it in very simple terms, which they used to release it on blogs. So then again, I don't stick with respect to only one blog. So I try to read multiple blogs with respect to that topic. I used to see how many people are seeing that particular problem. I used to see with respect to different perspectives. And finally, I'll come to one conclusion. All right, this is what it is. So we need to be a broad-minded, how exactly multiple people are looking into the problem statements. And also, even if you're from college engineering, if you're studying college, maybe you're let's say satellite communication or electronics communication you're studying. So you'll be having one book, but your faculty, your teacher will say, go and study in some library, refer some other books. Why they are saying it? Because you would be sticking with respect to some local author. So try to have a different perspective. Go and read it. So what exactly this global author they have written. So again, whenever you're picking a book from the library, you won't be able to complete because time limitation. So, and again, very high level terms, how they have written. So better try to stick with some blocks, not with respect to one block, multiple blocks with respect to one topic. And if you're going in that perspective, I think it should work. It's up to you again. All right. So, Dr. Leela, is it possible to give common break for 14th and 15th April as it is a government holiday along with weekend? 14th and 15th, Dr. Leela. The team should decide how to. Not sure. All right, then. Hope we all had a great session today of data visualization and you all understood this topic. Let's come back tomorrow, the same time, 7, and we will continue with the statistics topic. All right. Take care, everyone. See you all. Good night. Yes, Nabila. Thank you. Bye, Anil. Take care, Jyoti. Bye, Pavani. Yes, Jagdish. Take care. Good night, Vinod. Amar, you can end the meeting. It's done.